All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a text post with a colored background. I like these types of posts. I use them a lot. They're great for one or two sentence, high engagement posts where you're asking questions, sometimes just making a big declarative statement. On my business pages, because I'm talking to other business pages, sometimes I'll use it for a motivational quote. I know I say in a lot of my training not to use motivational quotes, but in a B2B world and in the right context and done correctly, they can work. Um, in almost every other context, they don't work very well. But we found a really good winning system for that. So beyond that, let me show you some examples of text posts that I've made on my page. So this one is this is what I've done in Canva. Sometimes when I have a chance, I will create the graphic in Canva, but I usually like them less. They're fine. And this one's fine, but generally I'll do something like this. Free Facebook workshop in Bonita Springs is tonight. Who's coming? What do you love the most about having your own small business? So these are text posts that are really quick and easy, simple to make. You don't have to open Canva. I don't know. Here's another one. You can only join so many networking groups. A strategic Facebook sales system will find you more customers with less effort. So now you can see on this one, there is text above it as well. So I'm going to talk about that as I show you how to do this. So I can't remember what the question I was going to ask here. So you're going to open up your kind of communication box here, or your post box, and yeah, I was going to ask, how many times a week do you post to your Facebook page? This is just a way. It's a fairly easy question to answer, and that's what we're looking for in engagement questions. It's one that makes people stop and think about the answer. Well, how often do I do that? You definitely want to make sure that when you're asking questions, that there's a high likelihood that people are going to want to answer it. This one, I don't know. We're going to find out. And then we'll know. But I think it's a fair question. I think it's something that will make people stop and think, and then they want to see whether or not their answer is right or wrong. So any kind of high engagement post that you do where you don't necessarily need an image, this is a great alternative. So I write the question down. Now you can only add so much. So if I keep writing and writing, now you can see the text got smaller, but this AA with the colors around it is still available. So so if I keep writing, now if I kept it at this and just posted it, it would be a larger font, all text post. There'd be no colored background to it. I've seen people use those before. I just don't tend to. I like the color background more. But you can still add a color background if you choose from here. So it can be really short and we can add a background. But right now I'm going, and I'll show you that in a second here, but I'm going to keep writing and writing and writing. I don't know why writing is so difficult for me to spell. So we're going to see how far we can go. All right, you see the color box just went away. If I back up a little bit, it's not coming back. Usually when you back up, it will pop. There we go. Now it popped back up again. But once you go past a certain amount of characters, and I don't know off the top of my head, but it's usually like 2 to 3 lines of text, you can hit the enter key, and you can even do it twice and say, what do you think? And it's still going to work because this color box is there. But if I keep writing, you can see eventually it goes away. I like kind of using that enter because it allows a little bit more space between two sections of text, and it's easier to read. So we're going to keep backing up. I'm only going to do just this one question here. So we're going to go to that question. We're going to hit the keys here, and we're going to hit this box, these 4 boxes here. And these are your options. Now, I think Facebook sucks, at least the desktop version. I think there are more options on mobile, but I don't use mobile a lot, and I can't even say guaranteed that there are more options on mobile. The classic color is this purple background. I use this a lot because it tends to be the default, and it's what a lot of just regular Facebook page users use when they have a simple question. So it's kind of just putting your question in a format that other people immediately recognize as a question, because that's how a lot of other Facebook users, not business pages, but just standard users. We always want to look and act more like a standard user than a business. So I like that pinkish purplish background. I'm a big fan of it. Now, it can get a lot and it can get overwhelming, and some people want to use their colors and that sort of thing. So there are other options. You have like the poop emoji, and you have the fire. The fire I will use from time to time. But what I don't like about these backgrounds is sometimes the text bleeds into the background. And how you're seeing it here is not necessarily how it's going to look on your page. This is kind of squished down. So what I do, I'm going to show you a couple of other tricks here. So I tend to stay away from the ones that have a lot of background to it, because it makes the text more difficult to read. I also tend to stay away from the ones that are a light colored background with black text, because I feel like, now this one's not so bad because this background's pretty darn light, but I feel like it's not as easy to read as a dark background with white text. That there's more contrast there, and it's easy to read quickly. Some of these, like, I don't know if it's this blue. Yeah, it's got the black text on the blue background. I stay away from this one. I like this color blue, but I wish it was white text. There's not a lot of contrast there. But I will use this dark blue here. I think this blue is fine. The purple is fine. Usually the dark green is fine. I thought there was a darker green. I think this one will go white. Yeah, this one goes white. So you can use that green one as well. So if you decide you don't want any of them, you just hit this white box and it sends you right back to where you were. So let's say I want to go ahead and use that green. I like that green. Now, I'm all about the aesthetic, right? Not about it looking fancy, but just about it being easy to read. And in this case, this is really, really easy to read. But if I post it, see, not now. That adding a button is adding a button for messages. Sometimes that's appropriate, but usually not. You can see that on this bigger screen, it has actually gone wider, and I don't like how that's formatted as much. That's me. I like it a little bit more centered and in the middle. So one of the things you can do is actually edit the post, and right behind it, so I liked how it was laid out here. I can select right behind that U and shift enter, and it looks like nothing changed, but now when I save it, because I have that enter behind the U, it forced it into two lines, and I like that a little bit better. So what I do, and not a lot of other people do this, is if you want a post that's shareable, for some reason, if somebody shares this post, it takes away the color background and it makes it a plain text post. I hate that. I think that's very, very silly, and I want people sharing my post. So what I do is I actually screen capture. Let's see if I can screen capture while I'm screen recording. You can see how much green there is here. That's also kind of a bit much. It's just this new format that they show it. They make the background so big. So I'm going to come in a little bit, and I'm going to screenshot this just like this. I might bring it down a little bit on both sides. Just a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to screen capture that. And then I am going to delete this post. Move to trash. Move. Okay. So I'm going to delete that one, and then I'm going to upload the one that I want. Now, this is when I can add extra text to the top if I want. I'm not going to on this particular post, but I can add additional text and post it that way. So I have like just the idea on the background, and then I can post it. This way, I can create a graphic with a simple statement on it without ever opening Canva. As long as you have a screen capture ability, you can get your text on a colored background into an image, so you can add extra text, and you're all good. Very similar to what I did here, although I did use Canva for this. But I could very easily had created this in here. I'm playing around with different things I can do with Canva, and this one's fine. I don't love it. It's fine. It's got 6 likes on it, so that's cool. But I like this kind of native look to it a little bit better, and I can, in just a couple of minutes time, this again, where you can make things just very quick and simple. I didn't have a template. I don't need any of that. Just write the high engagement question out, and then or statement, and pick your background, screenshot it, upload the screenshot. If you don't want to do the screenshot thing, you can skip that. Most people don't do that. I do that because of the sharing and how it gets messed up with the sharing, and I don't like that. I can take 60 seconds extra to create it into an image, and that's always going to work, that other people can share, etc., and not lose it. All right, that's it. That's how you create a text post with a color background that is actually effective. I mean, many of you may know how to do that, but I'm hoping that you picked up on some of the do's and don'ts here on how to actually use this.